Howdy folks, Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and carnivore, and it is the end of July. The start of August has arrived, and so it's time for the reckoning. Let's head in and see just how Marshall and I did here on Big Anklevich on Health. Okay, so this morning was August 1st. I got up and I weighed myself to see just exactly what happened. So when I stepped on the scale, here is what I saw. 211.6. What does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? Well, if we go back and see the weight that I had at the end of last month, I was 216.0. So, I guess you can say that's pretty good. That's what, 4.4 pounds? Something like that. And so that's lowering. And to be truthful, maybe even more so than that, because I got a new scale this month. And with the new scale, the first time I stepped on it, it said I was 5 pounds heavier than my old scale was saying. My old scale was all sorts of foobar. We'll be going through that in this whole thing. But it was saying I was 5 pounds heavier than I thought I was. So maybe I actually lost 9 pounds. I don't know. But that's not important, particularly. The thing that really bumps me out is that you can go back 2 months ago to the start of June, the end of May, and yeah, in that month I was 206.6. So in June, I lost ground. I was going to say I lost weight, but that's not true. I gained weight. I lost ground. I moved backwards. I went from 206 to 216. And now I'm getting some of that ground back because I'm back towards where I want to be. But I could have been a lot farther. If you look at this chart, this is my whole month scale chart. My new scale keeps track of it for me. It takes it into an app, it puts it on a chart for me. It's pretty awesome, I have to admit. And you can see there at the start of the month, I weighed in at 221.4. And then I came down pretty significantly, but then I went back up. And I came down significantly, I went back up, way back up. I came down, and for once I stayed down for a little bit, and then I went back up. And I kept going up and down and up and down. That jagged line is kind of an embarrassment, really, when you look at it and you think about it. I got all the way down to 207.8 just a few days ago, but I didn't keep it. I was really inconsistent this past month. Supposed to be hardcore summer, but it was very hardcore, softcore, back and forth, over and over again. It did not stick to what it should have. If I'd stayed consistent, I think I might well be on the brink of getting into Wonderland. And yet, instead, here I am, still at 212. So, the new scale also does my fat percentage. And as I was saying, my old scale was all kinds of messed up. And so, yeah, my fat percentage from my old scale was saying I was at 36%. And then the very first time I stepped onto this scale, it said, no, you're at 26%. I don't know what that other scale was thinking. It was drunk. So I came down, and at the lowest point, you can see there, I got all the way down to 23.9. I'm not there today, though. Today, I am at 24.7. Okay, so, it's better, but could be even further along. And then here's my muscle percentage, which was a similar thing. The drunk scale said that I was at 36%, but no, according to this thing, I was at 47% muscle. And that went up, and at the highest point is at 49.1, which puts me just into the green, according to the color codes in the app's indicators. But I went back down. So where I'm at now is 48.5, which is, it's better than 47.3, came up more than 1%. But my inconsistency is killing me. So, yeah, that is what needs to change this month coming up. I gotta beat this inconsistency problem. No more. I felt so good about myself back in April when I pledged that I was going to eat ground beef every meal the entire month. I did it. And not only did I did it, I lost 20 pounds in the process. And I could have kept going. But for some reason I thought, no, I should do something different. I should do this. I should have just kept going. And now I'm a little inconsistent because of that. And so this month's theme is going to be consistency. I am going to do 100% lion diet, and it's going to be mostly ground beef. It's going to be really similar to August, it is August. It's going to be really similar to April, but I am allowing myself to have steak or roast, anything that's actual lion diet, I can put that into. Ground beef is just the cheapest stuff that you can get for beef, basically, and so I'll probably eat mostly that because it's cheap and I can afford to eat as much of it as I want. So I will do that. I will also be back on my exercising. I already went out, did a little walking this morning. I'm getting back to it, and I'm going to do as much working out as I can as well, although I'm not sure if I can commit to 100% working out this month. It's just so hot out there in that garage. It's kind of miserable. It really discourages me from wanting to get out and do it, but maybe I need to just quit crying and do it. If I do the workouts, they're only going to be 2 days a week. It's only going to be on Wednesdays and Saturdays when I'm fasting. So that will be, I'm still trying to convince myself. I don't want to say on here that I'm going to do it, just in case that I'm lying like I have been all these other times recently. So yeah, that is my plan. It's the hardcore days of summer. It's the most hardcore of the hardcore summer. The dog days of the hardcore summer, the hardcore days of summer. That's what we are doing here. Let's head over and see what Marshall had for his June and what his plan is for his August.
All right. It is come time. This is the reckoning. This is the time where I reveal how my month has gone. I haven't talked to you about my progress for the whole month. And so now, what does it come down to? Well, it's a little bit of a sad trombone. I didn't gain weight. I only lost 4.2 pounds in the month. Now, I have weighed myself throughout the month just to kind of see where I'm at, see how I'm doing. And I had lost more weight than that. So I don't know if it was the day of sodas that messed me up or if it was just, I don't know. But this last week or so, I've gained a little bit, like a couple pounds. So I think at one point I had lost like 6.6 pounds or something like that. And now I've gone up a couple pounds. So kind of strange. I feel better. I look better. And I feel better. So and that's one of the things about using weight as your only gauge of how you're doing. It can be disheartening. It can be disappointing. And you could, if that's all you're riding on, there's so many other factors. What's happening inside your body? What's happening to your mental state? And I think my mental state, every month I seem to get more and more engaged in this effort. I seem to get more and more, my body isn't expecting as much. I do have temptations, but they're not as strong or potent, if that's the right terminology there. And like I said, I feel better, and I think I look better. My clothes fit better. But again, you can't just go by weight. Otherwise, you might be meant for disappointment. You have to look at all of the factors in your life and what's improving And, again, what your mental state is. How are you looking at this way of eating? How are you succeeding at that? And physically, how are you succeeding? There's many different ways to measure that, not just by looking at the scale. So, what's my plan for August? I think I'm going to amp it up a little bit in August as far as, and I might miss the first day, depending on how this goes with me traveling here on the first day of the month. But I do plan to get exercise, to walk every single day of whether it's the weekend or not. Maybe I'll have one day off a week, but so at least 6 days a week, I'm going to be out there walking and getting some exercise. I'm going to try to fast 3 days a week. My projected schedule right now is going to be Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. I think that'll work out pretty well, of fasting 3 days a week. And I don't think I'll do that forever, but at least this next month, just to kickstart me even more onto the road of recovery. And just teach, again, it's training my mind on what to expect. If I don't eat 3 times a day, my mind isn't going to expect, hey, you need to shovel food into your mouth. No, you can have mind over matter, right? You determine what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat, not your cravings, not your body, not your routine, not tradition, anything like that. I'm going to be training my body and my mind by fasting 3 days a week in August. There may be times where I shift that to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, but I really think the Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday will work better. It's easier for me to fast at work. It's really easy for me to fast on Sundays unless we're having like a family dinner. Like usually once a month we have a family dinner on a Sunday. And not that I have to eat the family dinner, but it's kind of nice to eat with my family, my whole family, when the other 2 kids come over and stuff like that. But anyway, I'll adjust that as necessary, but that's my plan is to fast on that schedule 3 times a week, and I'll adjust that as needed, and just to keep exercising, and of course to continue in my eating correctly, eating carnivore, and not giving in to those temptations. It's a no soda month. Actually, every month should be a no soda month. And let's see, is there anything else I want to add to this report? I guess not. I guess that's my main goal this time around. And I just want to use August, before we, it's the end of summer, going into fall. And I think it's a great way to just boost me into into the end of the year, basically. So that's my story. I'm going to stick to it, and I'll let you know how things are going day by day. I'm out.
All right, Marshall, I'm really excited to see how things go for you. I hope that they go really well this upcoming month as you get hardcore. Like when you get into the hardcore days of summer and you go super hardcore, fasting 3 days, walking every day, that sounds really good. I hope that it works out for you. I don't know. Sometimes losing weight can be a real puzzle. It doesn't always just do what you feel like it should do. And there may be some kind of thing, and sometimes your body just needs to get to the point where it's ready for it. I don't know. There have been times when I do well and times when I don't. And I'm hoping that this month is the time that I do well as well. And like you said, it is really hard to sometimes know just judging on weight, because your weight can be caused by lots of different things. And maybe that is something that's going on. You're eating a lot of protein and you're losing weight, but you're losing fat, and are you losing more fat and gaining maybe muscle in there? Like you said, your pants, your clothes are fitting better. maybe take some measurements, get a little measuring tape and just see what your measurement is at the start of the month and at the end of the month. That might be a good plan. Or you could get one of those funky scales. I got my funky scale that supposedly measures your body fat percentage, etc., etc. Although I found even with this new one, which seems like it's better, it still follows basically the same trajectory as my weight. So I don't know if it really makes a difference, but I put the graph up there for you guys anyways. So, whatever. All I know is that I'm excited for how this last month of the hardcore summer goes, and we'll be back at the end of the month to report on the final reckoning again. So we'll see you guys then, but we'll see you every day through the month as well. See you next time on Big Anklevich on Health.